This is Nick Pomeroy with PR Equipment here in Currens, Texas. Today we're going to shoot a short little video talking about one of the most frequent questions we get asked in regards to spray equipment. And that's basically the difference between boomless and boom spraying, the pros and cons of each, and in what applications one would be better than the other. So we're going to start over here with the boomless. This is an Ag Spray 300-gallon boomless sprayer. This system has these XTO24 nozzles. They spray 18 feet in each direction at 40 psi. And they're actually going to get you really good spray coverage. They have been designed to try to have as flat a pattern over that 36 feet as possible. And like I say, they're a good spray tip. Now, let's talk some advantages. So the number one advantage for this system is really basically economics, the initial cost of operation and continuing cost. So initially off the bat, this is the most economical way to start spraying, is to go ahead and get the boomless nozzles. One other thing to consider is the long-term maintenance of this system. So you've only got two tips that are going to wear out over time. So that's all you're going to have to do is replace two tips at some point. And you also have much less chance of breaking or damaging this system simply because it is aligned with the middle of the sprayer. So if you break these off, chances are you really did something wrong. So those are some of the advantages. So in situations where you have lots of trees or if you have fence posts that you're trying to avoid, this is a great system. It's also a great system, say, if you want to spray the fence row or spray over into the ditch. That's one area where this system really shines. Some of the disadvantages is it's much more susceptible to drift. So as the wind speed increases, you're probably going to find that you're going to see more and more drift with this particular method of spraying. You're probably going to have to park it a little quicker as opposed to a boom. So that's one of the primary disadvantages, is that drift. And obviously, drift in terms of when you're on a tractor is a pretty big deal. And also whatever's in the field next to you is a pretty big deal. So that's one of the major disadvantages. But overall, this is going to get you a good spray coverage as long as you can kind of manage your wind speed, and when you're spraying to take into account for wind speed. This is still going to get you a good spray coverage, and it's going to do it at a good price point. So like I say, there are some real benefits to this. So now we're going to move over and talk about the boom spray. So this is an Ag Spray 500-gallon. It's up on some taller tires, but this is the 42-foot X-fold shock absorber boom from Ag Spray. There are some inherent advantages in boom spraying. Primarily the number of tips and the spacing. You've got tips across the entire length of the boom, and the spray coverage really can't be beat. And also it's much less susceptible to drift, primarily because you've got tips every 20 inches. There's not nearly as much wind contact that can affect your spray coverage. One other really good advantage is they come with this quarter-turn quick jet cap system. This allows you to basically fit this system rather quickly with any number of tips, sizes of tips or styles of tips. There's just an unlimited number of options out there. This just happens to be an AIXR 1103 tip. We put these tips on there because they're air induction tips, and you get some inherent advantages with the air induction. So just a little bit about that. With air induction, the spray range gets a little wider. So with a standard fan tip that's non-air induction, as the pressure increases, your droplet size gets small, and it gets small in a hurry. So by the time you get to 50, 60, 70 psi, you're basically turning your spray into a mist, which is much, much more susceptible to drift. With the air induction tip, it actually brings in just a little bit of air, and as the higher pressures it's bringing in more air, creates an air-infused droplet, which keeps your droplet size rather large, and it's much less susceptible to drift. It also widens out that spray range like we talked about. So now this tip is going to do from 15 to 90 psi, and that gets you a wider spray range. So the effective range of this tip is significantly larger than a non-air inducted tip, simply because we got that wider pressure range. This is going to allow this tip to basically replace two standard tips, just because we can widen out that pressure band. So it's just super easy to put these tips on, which makes it a real advantage for a boom style sprayer when changing between different tips or different styles of tips. A couple of disadvantages, though, that you need to keep in mind is for this system, obviously you've got a mechanical boom out there, in this instance, it's 42 foot wide, so it's 21 feet in each direction. So you're much more susceptible for hitting fence posts, hitting trees, any number of things, or even banging this boom into the ground if you go through some really hard ruts. And there's a lot more maintenance with a boom type system. So you've got more tips that are going to wear out over time, and more things to break. So the initial cost is higher, and the continuing cost is higher. So it's something to keep in mind. But no beating around the bush, you're going to get better spray coverage with a boom style sprayer. One new thing that we've kind of started to see a lot of lately is we can actually fit this boom with a set of Boomless nozzles, which would basically be right here, and it's going to be the same as the Boomless setup over there. It's going to have a couple valves here, which is going to give you the option to spray with Boomless or boom. And where that really comes in handy is, say you want to go ahead and work your fence rows with the Boomless, or maybe you've got some patches where you either can't get through there with trees or whatnot, that it's just that your travel width is restricted. So you can leave the boom folded up and spray Boomless. So you can get the job done and keep the boom folded up and out of harm's way in those situations where you need to do that. But then you flip a couple valves, unfold the boom, and you can go spray your fields and still take advantage of that improved drift protection and improved coverage. So there's some advantages to both systems. There's something to fit everybody's needs, and here at PR Equipment, we definitely try to do that. We keep a lot of spray equipment in stock, and we sell a lot of spray equipment. We're always answering questions for guys, and feel free, like if you guys have questions, give us a call or comment below. We'd be glad to answer anything you have, and also subscribe to our channel, because we're going to be shooting some more videos trying to answer some of these common questions and trying to provide you with a little bit more knowledge behind what we're trying to accomplish with the spray systems. And also, like us on Facebook. We have a lot of information on Facebook, videos and things of that nature that you might find useful. And like I say, we're here to help. Anything we can do, that's what we're here to do. So thanks, guys.